Hi everyone, this is me, and then I'm going to be showing you how to image and get started with a Raspberry Pi. And we're going to show an example with the Raspberry Pi Lite and using SSH. So this is the Raspberry Pi 02W, and it has a heatsink. It has heat sinks and pins. The pins were soldered on, and the heat sinks are there because there's no fan and have to have passive cooling. So to get started, get a micro SD card. I'm just getting one here, and put it in the SD card reader. There should be a pop-up right here, and then you should be able to go to File Explorer and then find it here. This is mine. So right here you have to download a thing called Raspberry Pi Imager. So for the purpose of this video, I'm using a smaller Raspberry Pi and the Lite version. The software is the Lite version to show how SSH works. So first we gotta pick a Raspberry Pi 02W. So right here matches the description right here. So we gotta pick that and then choose OS. There's a lot of OSs here. There's emulation. There's other specific. There's a lot. But for us, we're gonna go to Raspberry Pi OS and choose Raspberry Pi OS Lite. Then we're going to choose a storage. Since I only have one thing hooked up to my computer, and it's the 32 gigabyte micro SD card, be sure it is the micro SD card because some people have a big storage device and they might click that. So make sure it's an SD card. Then you go next, and you should be able to see, would you like to apply OS customization settings? You just click edit yes, and then I'm going to set my host name as test.local. .local is very important here, and with a capital T. My username is going to be Pi, and my password is going to be Pi. Then configure a wireless LAN, also known as Wi-Fi. So put in your Wi-Fi password, which you're going to connect from your computer to Raspberry Pi. You gotta always remember that. If your Raspberry Pi is connected to a different internet and your computer is connected to a different internet, the SSH won't work. So make sure to put your Wi-Fi password. Let me try that again. Then my wireless LAN country is in Canada, time zone, US. So now, in general, you gotta go to services. Yours is gonna probably be crossed off, and you want to enable SSH and use password authentication. If you allow public key authentication, it will work, but it's more complex. So for the purpose of this video, just use password authentication. Now let's go back. So set a host name. Remember, I put mine as test.local. Pi is the password. My Wi-Fi, my password, wireless LAN country, and everything. Then you gotta go save. And would you like to apply? Say yes. Are you sure you want to continue? So this is just gonna rewrite everything. And then what's gonna happen now is it's gonna write and verify and start the disk imaging. Okay, see you. It's going to take some time, so see you later. Okay, so now we have the write successful here. So we press continue. Press the X to close. Then we get our freshly baked micro SD card here. And we get our Raspberry Pi 02W. So it's very important to first put the SD card first. There you go. It should go only one way. Am I clipped in? Next, get the cable here. It takes micro USB. And it should see how it says USB and power in? You have to put it in power in. So right here goes like this. Now you'll see some green lights flashing. And then you gotta wait like a couple of minutes, and I'll show you how to SSH. Okay guys, it has been a few minutes, and then our Raspberry Pi 02W should have just a green solid light with some blinking in it, and now it's time to SSH. So to SSH, there's two options. You could just use the command prompt in Windows to SSH, or I'll be showing this video using PuTTY. So the PuTTY, you download it again from the web. It's really easy. Remember how you had to remember the .local name? Well, here it comes in handy. So for this, you go test for me, that I put it, and you go .local. So the first name, it was test.local. You open, and there you go. You can say accept. Let me bring this down. And then log in as my username was Pi, and the password was Pi. And there you go. We're in the computer. So to take note right away is you have to use this command called hostname -i. And you gotta remember the IP address here. So mine for me is 127.0.0.1. Now here's the fun part. We can check again. Go hostname -i. It's 1.1. I wrote that wrong. And then what we can do is we can close it, go back to PuTTY, and we can say 127.0.1.1. And it looks like mine doesn't work. But that's what it should work like that. Or you could just use the .local name. Okay, so once you boot it up and you got your IP address, what you can do is you can start the sequence. You can go use sudo apt update, and it'll get all the updates going on. We just gotta wait. And then what you can do here, sudo apt full upgrade, and press enter. And this will take some time. A quick update, if it says do you want to continue, you just gotta press Y and then enter. Okay, it's been a little while, and you can do many things, control the thing wirelessly, but I'll show you one more command that we can do. There's this thing called NeoFetch. So this is how you install NeoFetch, and NeoFetch in recap just shows all the system configuration and everything. So it shows the CPU, RAM, and etc. So you gotta go sudo apt install NeoFetch. And again, we have to press Y, then enter. This will take some time again. Here's a cool thing of the installing. And it'll just show like the progress and all the commands that it's doing right now. The installation is done, and now we can go NeoFetch. And there you go. It shows the Debian logo, and it shows everything, uptime, shell, CPU, and everything. You could do a lot of things more with this. You can make weather station, Pi-hole. You can make VPNs. You can do a lot of things. You can go inside directories. This is what I like to do. And you can like look at all this stuff. But that's basically the end of the video, and I'll make maybe a new video of other stuff that I can do with it. But that's it. Gravita080 out.